So let's take the 357 SIG slide, put it on the 9mm frame here, and see how that fits. Okay. Okay, slide is on. Okay. Seems to function. Release the hammer. I'm going to hold the slide in place. Okay. Same thing here, 9mm on the 357 SIG frame. Slides on, right? Functions perfectly fine, right? Okay. Alright. Now what we're going to do is just show these pistols reassembled and show you the difference in how you line these up. Now, if you've never done this, it's a little tricky the first few times. It's not like a classic SIG where you lock the slide back and turn the lever down 90 degrees and then just release the slide and it comes off. It's, like I said earlier, it's more like a 1911 style pistol and some of the other ones where you actually have to line up a notch. This lever is actually going to be placed inside here through the hole in the frame. That's what you're trying to accomplish. So it's a little tricky at first. What we do, okay, slide it back, okay. Now you're going to notice that when you move this slide, you're going to see that hole in the barrel, which you see here, okay, this hole right here, you're going to see that pass through the hole in the frame. Alright, so what we're going to do, I've never done this in this particular position, okay, so you're going to let it forward, okay, until you can see that hole, alright, through the barrel. Okay, so you're going to line up your hole in the frame, start putting this takedown lever in, okay, then slide back until the notch meets up where it's supposed to, push it in completely tight and release it. Now if you did it wrong, you can actually put the takedown lever in so that it's either too far back or too far forward. What that's going to cause, it's going to cause the slide, when you release the slide, it's not going to go all the way into battery. So you know that you'll have it wrong. You can remove it and reinstall it the proper way. So we decock that pistol. Now the 357 SIG is slightly more difficult, in my opinion, just because the distance between the notches on the slide here. So start to let it forward. Alright, I can see the hole where it needs to be. Put my takedown lever in. Okay, bring it all the way back, push it in, release it. And there you go. Alright, now we're going to see what this magazine does when it's inserted into the opposite frame. Okay, now both of these frames being identical are, you would assume, are going to be able to accept either magazine, which they do. The only difference is the size of the round that you're going to be able to fit in each of these magazines. I mean, when you look at them, they're constructed virtually identical. Now the 357 SIG, you can see, if you look real close, you can see it's just slightly wider, the actual body of the magazine. Okay, so even though they will interchange between the two pistols, they're not going to function. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using the right magazine and the right gun. If you're carrying these, using them for duty, make sure that if you have both models, that you know what magazines go with what pistol. So just a quick recap. Slides interchange on either frame for the 9mm and the 357 SIG. Barrels do not interchange. Springs are different because of the amount of recoil. This is a heavier rate spring on the 357 SIG, and it is marked with a blue color as opposed to just plain silver. Also, the 9mm has the loaded chamber indicator. The 357 SIG does not. These grips are interchangeable between the two pistols. Magazines are interchangeable but do not function, so you have to be careful because they will fit either gun. Okay? And the last thing I'm going to do is break down one of these magazines for people who have not done maintenance on their magazines before. It's something you should do periodically, just like cleaning your firearm. You get dirt in there, you get grime and dust, and 90% of your problems with a firearm are due to magazine issues. What I'm going to do right now is quickly break down the magazine so you can see the inside, how they go together. It's very simple, but it's something that you want to maintain along with the rest of your firearm. So on the SIG Pro magazines, SIG Pro is going to be kind of an interchangeable term here with the SP2022 magazines, because if you look on here it actually says SIG Pro, and the older SIG Pro magazines will work in these guns for their respective calibers. You push this little detent spring in, and you're going to push the end plate off toward where the front side would be, or where this finger groove is, and it's just going to slide off, and you're going to keep your thumb on the magazine spring so it doesn't launch the spring out, right? Now there's a nice little plate that goes on here. Spring comes out. Here's your follower. There's your empty magazine tube. Okay, this little metal locking plate, floor plate, whatever you want to call it, comes off, and here's your spring. Now when you reassemble this, one thing you have to be aware of is you have a larger curve or a larger radius on the bottom of the spring than you do on the top of the spring that rests against the follower. So if you try to install this backwards, it's not going to work because there's a slight taper. As you can see also, the coils get smaller towards the top of the magazine as opposed to the bottom. So when you reassemble, I'm going to slide this on, just kind of curve it around. It's going to go on just like that. Lay that down there. Your follower is going to have this notch here, which actually is what makes the slide lock back when the magazine is empty. So it locks open on the last round. Okay, and that notch is going to correspond right here. So this notch is going to line up here, so you just drop that follower in. Take your magazine with the floor plate. This curved part of the spring will be facing the forward part of the magazine, corresponding to this notch. You're going to push that in, and you're going to take your floor plate. Okay, so this is the front of your magazine. This is your finger notch, so this is the front of your floor plate. You get that started on there, you can see there's a groove, and it lines up, and it'll just slide on, and it'll lock in place. And that's it. So that's a comparison I did between the 9mm and the 357 SIG for the SIG SP2022 pistols. That's it for my review, and if you have any questions, put them on my YouTube channel or email me directly and I'll see if I can answer them. Okay? Thanks.